First of all, I want to thank everybody so much who contributed to last week's campaign. It's really important. There's a lot of people asking you for money now, I know, and it's important for us. It's important, we can't survive without it, and it brings a lot of light into the world, the light of a mitzvah. And speaking of that, so on a menorah, we light the candles in a menorah, and a candle has in it two features. It has light and it has fire. And the question is, Hanukkah is a very intense holiday, and really there was a war, there was all kinds of stuff, but we emphasize the light. There are a lot of people in the world fighting with each other. We have to remember that when it comes to this, you're going to get much further with the light, with knowledge, with information, with love, than you are with fire. It's something very important for us to remember. And I wanted to share a story about this. So Lubavitch, the Rebbe taught us, and the Rebbe encouraged us to put menorahs up on public property. The Rebbe said that it's freedom of religion, not freedom from religion, and it's not a problem. And that was held out, that went all the way to the Supreme Court. And there were a lot of Jewish people and organizations that were not happy with that idea. And we rented space when we first came to Center City, Philadelphia, from one of those organizations. And the guy who was the director used to come down every Shabbos morning, and he would come in with he'd come in on Shabbos morning, come to his office. He'd have his coffee and his newspaper, his Philadelphia Inquirer, and he would wave, and we had a nice conversation every week. And every so often he would tell me that he's rebuking me for having a menorah on public property, and we would agree that we agreed to disagree. And that was basically how it worked. And it was a nice relationship. At any rate, one year the Rebbe said, besides having the public menorah celebration that we have all the time, the beginning of Hanukkah, the last day of Hanukkah, Zos Hanukkah, should also have a nice public celebration and include the community, and it'll be great. And that came out that year very, very late, and it was in between, was announced in between December 25th and January 1st. There were no offices open. I was calling everybody in the world. I couldn't find anybody, or calling people at home. I was trying to do everything we can. We finally got permission from the police department to put up our smaller public menorah on the steps of City Hall. We had 6 dozen donuts. We had every homeless person in Center City coming for the donuts, and we had a lot of a nice attendance besides it. There was a lot of police, there was a lot of homeless, and there was a lot of us. And in the end, the Rebbe said, when you do it, there's going to be gewaldige Persuming. There's going to be tremendous publicity of the miracle. And there was, the Philadelphia Inquirer came down to cover this menorah lighting, which we had Friday, right before Shabbos, on the steps of City Hall in Center City, Philadelphia. Well, the menorah is lit, the service is over, it's a very nice program, everybody's happy. And then I say to the cop, okay, so the menorah, we agreed that the menorah is going to the police station, right? He says, no, the menorah is going wherever you're going. I said, but we agree with the sergeant, it doesn't have to. He says, it's going where you're going. Now it's going to the space where, like I told you, it's we're renting the space from this organization. So I said, okay, fine. He brings the menorah in, they set it up nicely, everything's fine, it's in a great place. And the next morning we're davening, and again, as usual, the head of the organization walks in, he's got his newspaper, his coffee, and he goes up to us and he waves, and I wave, he goes up to his office, he comes down 5 minutes later and he's laughing. And he gives me the Philadelphia Inquirer. And in the front page of the Metro section, full page, and I'm talking full page, like a newspaper, there's a picture of me lighting this menorah in front of City Hall. Now, that's the moral of the story. The moral of the story is that in the end of the story, it wasn't a fight. In the end of the story, it was a relationship, it was a smile, and he ended up going to Chabad after that. But that's the idea. Is it fire or is it light?